Imagine walking into a Mercedes dealership. On one side sits a Mercedes priced at around $40,000. Just a few steps away sits another Mercedes costing more than $250,000. Same logo. Same company. Same heritage. So why would anyone pay 6 times more? The answer has almost nothing to do with the engine. It has everything to do with one of the smartest business strategies ever created. A strategy so powerful that it quietly persuades customers to spend more money every time they return. And once you understand how Mercedes really works, you'll never look at luxury brands the same way again. Mercedes-Benz isn't simply a car company. It's one of the greatest pricing machines in business history. For more than a century, Mercedes has mastered something most companies never achieve. It sells the same dream to completely different customers. A young professional buying an entry-level Mercedes believes they've finally stepped into luxury. A CEO buying an S-Class believes they've reached another level of success. A billionaire purchasing a Maybach believes they've separated themselves from everyone else. Different customers. Different incomes. Different lifestyles. Yet all of them are buying the same symbol. The famous three-pointed star. Most people think Mercedes builds many different cars. In reality, Mercedes builds one carefully designed customer journey. Everything starts with aspiration. People don't wake up wanting transportation. They want recognition. Achievement. Success. Status. Mercedes understands this better than almost anyone. Long before customers compare horsepower, fuel economy, or technology, they imagine how life will feel behind the wheel. That's why emotion comes before logic. The car simply becomes proof of success. Now here's where the real business strategy begins. Mercedes doesn't expect customers to jump straight into a 6-figure vehicle. Instead, it builds a ladder. At the bottom are entry-level models. Cars that introduce new buyers to the Mercedes experience. The monthly payment feels manageable. The badge feels premium. The customer feels successful. A few years later, something interesting happens. That customer receives another promotion. Their income grows. Their expectations grow with it. Instead of asking whether they should buy another brand, they begin asking which Mercedes should come next. Maybe it's time for a C-Class. Later an E-Class. Eventually an S-Class. And for a small percentage of buyers, AMG or Maybach. Every step feels natural because Mercedes designed the journey years before the customer ever walked into a showroom. Behavioral economists call this anchoring. Once someone becomes comfortable spending $50,000 on a car, spending $70,000 no longer feels shocking. Eventually even $100,000 starts feeling reasonable. Mercedes isn't trying to maximize today's sale. It's maximizing decades of future purchases. This is why customer loyalty matters so much. Every satisfied Mercedes owner becomes more valuable over time. But here's something even more fascinating. Why does Mercedes build cars that almost nobody can afford? Models like the AMG GT Black Series or ultra-luxury Maybach sedans aren't only designed to make money. They're designed to make every other Mercedes feel more valuable. Psychologists call this the halo effect. When people see Formula One victories, limited production AMG supercars, celebrity-owned G-Wagons, and chauffeur-driven Maybach limousines, the prestige spreads across the entire lineup. Even someone buying the least expensive Mercedes feels connected to the brand's most exclusive machines. The expensive cars create dreams. The affordable cars turn those dreams into reality. And that combination is incredibly profitable. Now let's look behind the curtain. Many buyers assume every Mercedes is engineered completely from scratch. That's far from the truth. Across the lineup, Mercedes shares platforms, engines, electronics, software, safety systems and countless hidden components. This dramatically reduces development costs. Instead of reinventing everything for every model, Mercedes improves existing technology and spreads those costs across millions of vehicles. Customers experience unique designs and driving characteristics. Mercedes enjoys economies of scale. The company spends less while maintaining premium pricing. That difference becomes profit. Luxury pricing itself is another masterpiece. Most people assume expensive cars cost dramatically more to build. Sometimes they do. Often they don't. A leather dashboard doesn't cost tens of thousands of dollars. Neither does a larger screen, premium lighting, or custom stitching. The true value comes from perception. Luxury buyers don't simply purchase materials. They purchase exclusivity, confidence, recognition, personal identity. Mercedes understands that emotional value is worth far more than manufacturing cost. This is why pricing isn't based on expenses. It's based on what customers believe the experience is worth. And then comes AMG. Originally an independent performance engineering company, AMG has become one of Mercedes' biggest profit engines. Customers willingly spend thousands, sometimes tens of thousands of dollars more for additional horsepower, sport suspension, louder exhaust systems, exclusive wheels and unique styling. Many of these upgrades cost Mercedes only a fraction of what buyers pay. But performance creates emotion. Emotion justifies premium pricing. The same philosophy applies to Maybach. Maybach isn't built for mass production. It's built for prestige. Every handcrafted detail sends one message. You've reached the highest level. Ironically, even people who never buy a Maybach help Mercedes make money. Simply knowing the brand exists elevates the status of every Mercedes on the road. Prestige flows downward. Exclusivity at the top strengthens demand everywhere else. Another brilliant strategy is internal competition. At first glance, Mercedes offers too many similar vehicles. Sedans, SUVs, coupes, electric models, performance variants, luxury variants. It almost seems confusing. But Mercedes prefers customers comparing Mercedes against Mercedes rather than considering another manufacturer. Whether someone chooses a C-Class, an E-Class or an S-Class, Mercedes wins either way. The customer stays inside the ecosystem. Apple uses the same strategy with the iPhone lineup. Once customers enter the ecosystem, leaving becomes increasingly difficult. Mercedes also understands the incredible power of optional features. A buyer enters the dealership expecting to spend $60,000. Then comes premium leather, driver assistance packages, luxury sound systems, panoramic roof, exclusive paint, night package, performance package, advanced technology. Before long, the final price reaches $80,000 or even $90,000. The base model attracts attention. Customization generates profit. Every additional option feels small compared to the total purchase. This is pricing psychology at its finest. Looking ahead, Mercedes knows the future extends beyond selling vehicles. Software, artificial intelligence, connected services, subscription features, over-the-air upgrades, digital ecosystems. Tomorrow's luxury won't only be measured by horsepower. It will be measured by software experiences and intelligent technology. Mercedes is transforming from an automobile manufacturer into a luxury technology company. That shift could make every customer even more valuable over the coming decades. So how can Mercedes sell one car for $40,000 and another for $250,000? Because it isn't really selling cars. It's selling aspiration, identity, achievement. Exclusivity. And carefully guiding customers through a journey where every step upward feels completely natural. Behind every Mercedes sits one of the most sophisticated business models ever created. A model built on psychology instead of products. Perception instead of price. Relationships instead of transactions. The next time you see a Mercedes on the road, remember this. You're not just looking at a luxury automobile. You're looking at a masterclass in business strategy.